Hi and welcome back to another video. Today's video, I am just going to be doing a book tag video. I've seen it on Lauren's and Amanda's YouTube, and with me being ill recently, I just thought it'd be a good video to do. I know I'm going to post this late, but again, I'm ill, so not much I can do about it. But let's just get into the video. So the first question is, what is a book you tell people is your favourite? And I would have to do 1,000 Boy Kisses. I read this and I rated it 5-star. Cried the whole way through, but it was such an amazing book. If you haven't read it, just go and read it. The second question is, what book is your guilty pleasure? The one that I've picked, I love this book, but a lot of people don't like it, and it's why I've picked it, because a lot of people just really don't like it. This is the first book that I read, and I loved it, and I still do love it, which is Ugly Love by Colin Hoover. I don't get why people don't like it. Like, I actually really liked it. I just don't understand why people didn't like it. Like, the only thing I didn't like about it is when Miles kept talking about Rachel, but I know that was just not his side of the story, but what he went through to why he treated Tate the way that he did. But I rated this one a 5-star as well. The third question is, what is a book everyone loves but you didn't? I know that I'm probably going to get like a lot of hate for this, but Verity by Colin Hoover. I don't know why, I just didn't like it, and I know a lot of people preferred this one of any of her books. I just really didn't like it at all. Like, it did like creep me out a little bit when I was reading it, but I don't know what it was, I just didn't like it compared to her other ones. So the fourth question is, what is a book you read the fastest? I've picked 2 books only because it's the first and the second one, and it is Heartstopper 1 and 2. These both took me 45 minutes each to read, when usually a book would take me like a week. And I know that these aren't technically an actual book, but, well, to say they're like full of comics. But I'm classing this as an actual book because the rest of them, like, they're all about the same amount of time. So I'm gonna have to just say these 2. The 5th question is, what book deserves more hype? I've gotta say Game Over Girl. Like, I've never actually heard anyone mention this book or have read this book, and I don't know why, but it's such a good book. Like, I seen it without knowing anything about it, picked it up because I like the front cover, and I loved it. Like, yeah, it is a bit twisted, the storyline, but it is still a really good book. So this is one that I would say go and read it if you like. If you like thrillers, go and read this, because what happened, I just didn't expect to happen, and I haven't seen anyone post about this, like, on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, anything. So the 6th question is, what is a book that is being turned into a movie or a TV show? I'm pretty sure it's still getting turned into a movie, but I haven't heard about it for a couple of weeks. Yeah, we'll say weeks. But It Ends With Us by Colin Hoover. I'm still really annoyed with who she's picked for the characters of the movie. There's so many other characters she could have picked. I'm so annoyed with who she picked. But it's the only book that I know that hasn't already been turned into a movie or a series that I've read. Because I know Heartstopper is already a series, but I watched the series before I read the book. But this one, I read this and they're still currently making the movie from what I know of. So the 7th question is, a book genre you don't typically read. I've got to pick fantasy. This is the only book really that I've got fantasy wise, I'm pretty sure, which is The Red Queen by Victoria. I'm not even going to try and pronounce her last name because I know I'm going to get it wrong. But this I did start it, but I didn't like from what I've read so far, which because it's about war. But I do want to get into fantasy books. It's just me trying to find a book that I actually like. But I'm pretty sure this is the only fantasy book I've actually got, from what I know of. Kind of. But, yeah, this is, yeah. The 8th question is a book that deserves all the hype it gets. I've got to pick Reminds of Him by Colin Hoover. I know there's a lot of Colin Hoover ones in this video, but I have read mainly her books and I have liked all of them apart from 2. But this one, I'm pretty sure I started crying at this one as well. But this is another really good one. And to be honest, this is things that not that many people post about Colleen Hoover. And I get why, because not that many people like her books. But then there is like another like bunch of people that do like her books. It's so hard to explain, but you know. So I am going to pick Reminds of Him. So the 9th question is, what is a book you usually recommend when asked to give a recommendation? I've picked The Love Hypothesis. I have only recently finished reading this. It was the first one that I started doing tabs. But this is like such an easy book to read, and to me I would think it's a good book to read for like someone that's starting off with reading. So I'm how do I explain this? I'm not upset that it wasn't my first book, but I do wish it was like one of the first ones that I read, because it is such a good book. It's such an easy book to read. It is a romance as well, so just everything. The 10th question is, what is a book that has your favourite characters? Another Colleen Hoover one, but it starts with us, and it is only because I love Atlas and Lily. Like, I just think, I know that it's not what's your favourite couple, but I think they are such a cute couple. I'm so happy that they ended up getting together in the end. This book, the end of this book still really annoyed me. That she rushed the end of it, and we don't actually get to like hear about the wedding. Like, you hear that they're getting married, but that's it. And I got so annoyed at it. But I love the characters in this book, and that you get to see more of their life together when they're grown up. Also, ignore the lighting. It is 6:20 at night and the sun's gone down, well it's going down, so it is real dark, so just ignore how bad the lighting is. The 11th question is, what is a book you wish you could live in? Since high school, like pretty much the beginning of high school, I loved watching the Vampire Diaries series. Absolutely loved it. Like, it helped me get through high school in a way, and I spoke about this with my mates like all the time. Yeah, I was one of them like nerdy people that spoke about TV shows, if you want to call it that. So I did get the book. I haven't actually read the books, but I've got the first 5, but in 3 books, if that makes any sense. But this is a book that I wish I could live in. So the 12th question is, what is a book you thought you would hate but ended up loving? I'm going to say A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, because during this I did like it to the point I was writing down, like trying to figure out who was the murderer before the book actually told me. But because I was more wanting to read a different book, and I can't start a book and then leave that, read another one. I have to finish that book first. I feel like that's why I struggled getting through this one, because I wanted to read a different book more, but I was already like halfway through it. But the more I was reading, the more I got into it, and so far I am really liking this series, and I did love this book, another one that I loved. But so the 13th question is, what book made you cry? I was crying with this book from chapter 1 because it's such a sad story, but it is also a really good book. But it is so sad what happens, but there is also, I don't know if to call it a happy ending, because it's not really a happy ending. It is sad, but at the same time it's happy. I don't know how to explain it. That's my thoughts on it. Other people might have like a different thought on it than I did, but I would say it was a sad, happy ending. But I was crying since the beginning. And question 14, which is the last one, is, what is a book you wish you could read for the first time? So, I know that I'm only going to pick one book, but I have got 8 books for this. So, I'm gonna start off with the one that I haven't actually mentioned yet, which is Regretting You by Colin Hoover. This is another one that I absolutely loved, and it's just the drama that was in this. There was so much drama. I was just hooked. Like, I couldn't stop reading it. Absolutely loved it. Another one is It Starts With Us, again, Colin Hoover. Just because I love the characters, I love the storyline. I just loved reading it in general. The next one is The Love Hypothesis. Like I was saying before, it's such an easy book to read, and I did really like it. Yeah. The next one is Reminders of Him. This is another sad book, but this one has a happy ending, and this was another one that I really loved. Just reading it, I was just hooked the whole way through it. Then the next one is It Ends With Us. Again, I just love the storyline. I have another one that I love the storyline. This one was just a lot more toxic than the second one. The next one, this one more than any, is 1,000 Boy Kisses. I can't even say anything about it. It was just such a good book. The next one is Ugly Love. Again, Colin Hoover. Yeah, I get it, okay. But this is like another, like, I don't want to say twisted one because it's not, but it's like, this is like a sad one and a happy one at the same time. And the quotes in this, I do really like the quotes in it. And the last one is Game Over Girl. This is probably the only thriller, really, I wish that I could read for the first time again. And I think it's because obviously I didn't hear anyone else read about it, so I didn't know anything about it when I was coming into it. And it was a really, really good book. And the ending, again, I didn't see happening, didn't see it coming at all. So, but that's it for the end of this video. I am sorry this is late being uploaded, but I hope you like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. I get lost in